Hi, I'm Alexia Flora, a former cheerleader at Harrison County High School. I am also a student council treasurer for class of 2020. I ask that you please bow your heads in prayer with me. Today I come to you in prayer, as today is not like any other baccalaureate or graduation we have seen, expected, or dreamed of. I ask that you wrap your arms around the class of 2020. God, give us the strength to get through this difficult and unexpected time. Continue to be with our administration and teachers as they have had to make our tough decisions by putting our health and safety above all else. Today we pray for tomorrow. This graduation will open a door for another time. As you have led in the past, you will lead in the future. Father, I pray that you walk with us as we move into the next chapter of our lives. Please give us the strength, knowledge, leadership, bravery, and help us find our voice. But they who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with our wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 4:31. To the class of 2020, may we keep our bond, and may God be with us. Amen.
Good evening. On behalf of the Harrison County High School staff, I welcome you to the 2020 Baccalaureate service. Our program begins with the official greeting.
Good evening. My name is Will Darnell, and I'm Student Council President. I want to start by saying that even though this is a pre-recorded event, I am just as nervous standing here in an empty auditorium as I would be looking out at everyone in person. Tonight we come together to celebrate this year's baccalaureate. Baccalaureate is defined as a celebration that honors a graduating senior class. The senior class of 2020 is definitely a class worth celebrating. This class is full of many unique and wonderful people that are graduating this year. I am excited to come together virtually as a class with everyone's family and friends to take a moment to reflect on our time together at Harrison County High School. By any means, this is not at all how we expected our senior year to go, but I believe that this has been a really great experience for all of us in many different ways. We have been able to take a step back and slow down from our very busy lives and enjoy the many blessings that we have received. During this time, we have been able to explore many different things, from picking up a new hobby, binge watching Netflix, spending time with family, or getting a head start on our life that awaits us. I hope that tonight with this event you will find the beginnings of closure on an unfortunately shortened time on the hilltop this senior year. Growing up, I never thought this was how our senior year was going to go, but now we are reminded to never take people or moments in our life for granted. I'll leave you with this quote that I've come to appreciate at this time. Every crisis gives us the opportunity to grow stronger and wiser, reach deep within, and discover a better you to help create a better outcome for tomorrow. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caitlin Bowling. I'm the Secretary of Student Council for the student body for the class of 2020. The baccalaureate speaker for Harrison County graduating class of 2020 is Dr. Larry Bishop, Senior Minister for 43 years of Cynthiana Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. Dr. Bishop is a native of Pulaski, Virginia, a graduate of Pulaski High School, Lynchburg College, where he majored in history and religion, and Lexington Theological Seminary with a Doctor of Ministry degree. Dr. Bishop and his wife Anna have 2 children, both proudly educated in the Harrison County school system. Daughter Stacy is principal of Nicholas County Elementary School, and son-in-law Brad works at Family Resource Center and serves as Harrison County Athletic Director. Son Jordan works for Humana and lives in Oldham County, where his wife Andrea teaches elementary school. The Bishops are the grandparents of 4 grandchildren: Sarah Allison, a 2020 Harrison County graduate, Junior Elizabeth, 2nd grader Noah, and granddaughter Blake Bishop. Dr. Bishop has served on the board of Harrison Memorial Hospital and remains active within the community, including coaching soccer for many years at the elementary and high school levels. He currently plays over 40 soccer in Lexington, as well as pickleball in Paris and Cynthiana. Both Larry and Anna enjoy extensive traveling, especially cherish the time spent with their grandchildren's activities. It is my pleasure to introduce you now to Dr. Bishop.
My congratulations to you as the 2020 graduates of Harrison County High School. It's a special moment in your life. Congratulations also to your parents, grandparents, family members, and friends. We also want to extend best wishes to Dr. Burchett and the Harrison County Board of Education and Principal Fowler, and faculty and staff for their support of you in this meaningful endeavor of your life. Even as you drive through town, you see many businesses and organizations expressing a note of pride to you as the class of 2020. Down through the ages, traditional form has evolved for this type of baccalaureate speech. Some older person who over the course of his life has made a series of mistakes, that would be me, gives heartfelt advice to a group of shining, energetic young people with all the best years ahead of them. That would be you. I have the responsibility to share with you so that you do not make the same mistakes I have made and the same mistakes that other adults in your life have made. When Ms. Nichols called me and asked me to share with you this evening, I was very delighted to do so. But then I started thinking about what would I share with you on this occasion, and my mind went back, forward, and in other directions. After days of trying to come up with what I felt was a nugget of wisdom or two, the answer did come. I shared the dilemma with my wife, Anna, who suggested that perhaps I watch and go and see a banner that was in the front yard of the Episcopal Church, the Church of the Advent, and I did so. The church has a wonderful ministry of providing signs that provide quotes that are inspirational, quotes from Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King Jr., or even Coach John Calipari. But this challenge was from British statesman Winston Churchill, and it read, "Difficulties mastered, opportunities won." Difficulties mastered, opportunities won. And there it was. You may not be familiar with Winston Churchill. He was an inspirational British leader during World War II. He was a noted statesman, officer, historian, writer, and artist, and the only British Prime Minister to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. Throughout history, and even today, Winston Churchill is often quoted for his words of wisdom. And on this moment of your life, I choose 3 points that might be of inspiration to you and to all of us. Churchill's life was not an easy one. He reminds us that difficult moments do not have to take us under. We can rise above them. Churchill's father treated his son with disdain, repeatedly telling the young boy that he would never amount to anything. And both parents neglected their son terribly. They sent their son to a boarding school at an early age. During this time, he sent to them 76 letters, but only received 4 in return. He was not even allowed to attend Christmas with his family. A fall sustained in youth left him with a permanent shoulder injury. He also lost his position as Prime Minister after World War II. He lost one son at an early age. 2 other children battled alcoholism for their entire lifetime. And Churchill also battled depression himself. But he still reaffirmed, the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Difficulties mastered are opportunities won. These recent months for you as graduates have been very difficult. That which has been taken away from you, senior trip, being with friends, spring sports, prom, a different kind of graduation. The usual response would be, that's not fair. And guess what? You are right. But as the great philosopher and former Harrison County basketball coach Mike Wright once said, the fair comes once a year, and it's always out on US 27 South. And we're not even sure about that this summer. But thanks, Coach, but this is a different kind of fair. This has to do with the fairness of life, but life is not fair. But you as graduates have been displaying great courage in your response to your moment of trial. You've been creative, persevering, and understanding. You are deserving of the highest accolades. Our faith continually reminds us that we can do great things through a higher power who strengthens us. If we only see the negative or the difficult in opportunities, you will not be aware when opportunities knock. I challenge you this day to be positive in all situations, to be positive in your thoughts, and to remember what the psalmist said, that a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. The second vice I want to share with you from the life of Winston Churchill is this. It was in the form of a question. He stated, "You have enemies? Well, if you do, good." The second part of that advice was to seek allies. I think most people are taught very simplistically that enemies are bad and friends are good. But we do know how many people who will bend over backwards to be liked by everyone. However, having enemies is not necessarily a bad thing, according to Churchill. What he's saying is this: if you have enemies, that means that you have stood up for something sometime in your life. This certainly is a new way to look at enemies, and probably a more accurate way as well. No one can be liked by everyone, and if you stand up for your beliefs, there's a strong possibility that you might anger someone to the point that they no longer like you. Being liked by everyone is not what is important. What is important is that you stand up for your values and beliefs. That, my young friends, takes a lot of courage. But Churchill added, success is not final, failure is not final. It is the courage to continue that counts. It takes courage to take a risk, to take a stand against the crowd. It takes courage to move on from failure, and it takes courage to keep trying when things are really difficult. That is why Churchill knew the importance of seeking allies. As you look back over your high school career, those years, you know how much you needed one another. Someone to pick you up when you stumbled, someone who had your back, someone who was a good listener, a teacher and an educator, a coach. Churchill shared this bit of wisdom. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak, but courage is also what it takes to sit down and to listen. My final point of advice for you, this quote from Churchill: "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. By swallowing evil words unsaid, no one has ever been hampered in his stomach." I challenge you, says Churchill, be kind, and be kind. Jesus said it this way: "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." Novelist George Saunders once spoke on a similar occasion to a group of graduates of Syracuse University. He shared with them his deepest regret up to that point in his life. It was in the 6th grade when a new girl moved into his town. She was very shy and nervous. She wore blue cat's eye glasses at the time, like older ladies wore. She was mostly ignored by all in the class. Saunders remembers she was always nervously chewing on a pencil, eyes cast down. She lived in my neighborhood, and I would see her hanging around alone in her front yard as if she was afraid to leave it, writes Saunders. But then the family moved, and that was it. No tragedy, no final big hazing. One day she was there, and the next day she wasn't. End of story. Then Saunders asked, "Now, why do I regret that in my life, which happened some 42 years later, and earlier, Relative to most of the other kids in class, I was actually pretty nice to her. I never said an unkind word to her. In fact, I sometimes even defended her. but it still bothers me. What I regret most in my life are failures of kindness. What I regret most in my life are failures of kindness. As you as graduates are leaving on a new journey, I would say that as a goal in that time, you could do worse than try to be a little kinder. Mark Twain knew that truth as he stated, "Kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see." Rudyard Kipling wrote, "I always prefer to believe the best of everybody. It saves so much trouble." Joanne Jones gives us another nugget as she describes her education as a nurse. She writes, "During the second year of nursing school, the professor gave us a quiz. I breezed through the questions until I read the last one. What is the first name of the woman who cleans the school? Surely, I thought, this was a joke. I had seen the cleaning woman several times, but how would I know her name? I handed in my paper, leaving the last question blank. Before the class was ended, another student asked if that question would count towards a final grade. Absolutely, the professor said. In your careers, you will meet many, many people. All of those people are significant. They deserve your attention and care, even if all you do is to smile and say hello." Jones concludes, "I have never forgotten that lesson. Never have I forgotten that lesson. And by the way, I learned her name was Dorothy." I challenge you as graduates to follow the advice of one of the world's greatest statesmen, Winston Churchill. Remember, difficulties mastered are opportunities won. Difficulties mastered are opportunities won. It is not always bad to have an enemy. If you stand up for something, if you stand up for someone, if you stand up at some time. And you always, always need your allies. And finally, be kind, be kind, be kind. Go forth this evening. Your parents are so proud of you and so happy. One of their fondest dreams has come true. You've accomplished something difficult and tangible that has enlarged you as a person and will make your life better from here on in and forever. One mother of a graduate expressed it this way: even in the most challenging times, never forget that you have a voice and you have a power to change things. Remember, you always have a choice, no matter what the situation. Be brave enough to say, "I'm sorry." Be brave enough to say, "I love you," or be brave enough to say, "I forgive you." Show gratitude to all those people who have gotten you to where you are this evening. And don't look down on anyone unless you are helping them up. And your parents might say, "I trust you to call your grandparents, not us, if you find yourself overdrawn on your bank account." Thanks to all of you for allowing me this moment with you and with your family. Two more things, and I promise that's it. One, allow your parents and relatives to take all the pictures they want, even though it annoys you. And finally, most of all, a message to our entire graduating class, a message to all of our families, a message to our world. Be kind, and be kind. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Student Council Vice President Savannah Slip. Before I begin, I want to thank God, my family and friends, my teachers, my fellow classmates, the administration, and everyone involved with the school district. The maintenance staff, the bus drivers, the cafeteria staff, and the superintendent. They have all helped me become who I am today. I'm thankful to be standing here speaking on behalf of my graduating class. I know that this year was the exact opposite of what we had envisioned, but here we are together, in spirit, as Harrison County High School's graduating class of 2020. As I'm standing here, all I can think is, now what? We've been spending 12 years waiting for this moment. I, as well as many others, are overwhelmed by the circumstances that led to today. Yet here we are, triumphant once again. Thankfully, we will cross this threshold into adulthood, graduates, with a non-traditional graduation experience. From the countless hours of studying to the sleepless nights cramming for finals and the seemingly ceaseless non-traditional instruction days. Although it has been an unprecedented year with new hardships, this too has made us stronger, more competent, and better prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, as we leave today going into the future that is untapped, we thank the Lord for the completion of another academic year, for giving us strength and health to get through the troubles of modern days, and for allowing us the opportunity, short though it may have been, to grow, succeed, and flourish the past 4 years. We know some of us will endure pain and hardship, and we know that some of us already have. We ask you to continue to grant us with strength, serenity, and resolve throughout the next step in the journey of our lives. Class of 2020, may the peace of God that transcends all understanding guard your hearts and minds, calm your fears, relieve your doubts, and sustain you with hope. And may God's blessings be upon each and every one of you and remain with you forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We hope you'll choose to do so again on May 29th at 6 p.m. on our YouTube channel for the Harrison County High School Class of 2020 graduation presentation.